Welcome you and all to another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast, where we talk about, say it with me, Latino everything. Thank you very much for being here. Make sure you go and subscribe to the channel. All the cameras. You already know what the business is. We reached 1,000+ subscribers thanks to you. We have a long way to go. If you enjoying the community of Latinos, if you are enjoying the content, if you want more presence of Latino content here in YouTube, make sure you go and subscribe and tell somebody to tell somebody. I would love it if you tell that tia that it's really good with carrying the word and the chisme and let her know we're here. Thank you very much. Today, we have an amazing episode. Respects to the gentleman because he came all the way from Houston, Texas, down North 45 this way. We have a Mexican American R&B singer, songwriter, music producer, musician, entertainer from Houston, Texas. He is determined to give a smooth sound to a very classic sound that you already know about. He has a degree in audio engineering, all the way, as I mentioned, from Houston, Texas. Roberto Vieira Jr., a.k.a. Rob B in the house. Hola.
Hola.
How you doing today, sir?
Good. Doing great. Great to be here. I'm happy to be here.
That's what I'm talking about. We're going for great today. Thank you for taking the time. I know it's a long drive,
Yes,
3-4 hours. It shows a lot of commitment for you on what you're doing. So I commend you for that, and I appreciate very much the time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Hope
thank
you enjoy it. Shout out to them Mexicans, TDM.
Them Mexicans. Shout out to David with them Mexicans.
I got that same
You
shirt.
got the same shirt. Yeah.
I had to, as soon as he put it out on social media, I was like, DM, like, hey, what's up, bro?
Yeah.
Where I send you my money? By the way, I support my people. I give them money. I send them my money because I want to support their brand. I said, where do I send you this? I'll send me here. All right, cool. I got the same one. I like it.
Yeah. I had to get two. I had to get the white one as well. I have the white one and then this one. I gotta show support.
It was just something about that particular design. I really enjoyed it. Like, let me get it too.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? We're gonna go ahead and start with the segment that I like to call Preguntas al Chile. If you have not taken the time to subscribe, so you can see the graphics
Preguntas al Chile.
Carlos put together that we need to redo again so we can give it a different look one of these days. Preguntas al Chile, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
¿Estás listo? Do you like this? Do you like that? ¿Tacos o tortas?
Oh man. Can I say both?
Sure.
Yeah, both.
No pressure. We'll prefer one or the other. However, I know it's challenging, but if you can't turn down, una torta and 2 tacos on the side.
Oh yes. But yeah, if I'm really hungry, tortas. If I'm still really hungry, even tacos sometimes. So it just depends. But I love both.
Got to go back in line and order some
I know,
more.
right?
Corn tortilla or flour tortilla?
Corn.
Awesome. Gorditas o sopes?
Gorditas.
Nice. Mexican coca or jarritos?
Jarritos.
What flavor jarrito?
Oh, I like all of them, but I guess one of my favorite would be the strawberry.
Yeah.
Or strawberry or the orange kind.
Except for the Mexican cola one.
Mexican cola.
You like that one?
I don't think I've tasted that one.
You don't want to.
I don't think I've tasted that one.
You're not missing out on anything. It's so good. Okay. Agua de horchata, Jamaica, or tamarindo. Which one would you prefer?
Horchata.
Horchata.
Yeah.
Okay. And salsa verde or salsa roja?
Salsa verde.
Salsa verde. Team salsa verde all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
Menudo or pozole?
Oh, man. That's both good, but I might have to go with menudo. We just had that the other day.
You did?
Yes, we just did. So,
do you have a particular person that you get menudo from, or do you make it yourself?
No, we go to one of our favorite places to go to is Jalisco's.
That's the restaurant?
In Houston. Yeah, a restaurant back in Houston, Texas, called Jalisco's, and they serve menudo and
What's particular about their menudo that's really good? A lot of people are very picky about where they get their menudo from.
No, I agree. I mean, I've had from other places menudo and it just didn't taste right. But no, that was pretty good. I mean, just the seasoning and the way they make it is pretty good.
Yeah,
it's like I ate the whole thing. So yeah, yeah. So
and back a few times for some more.
Yeah, exactly.
But churros or flan?
Oh man. Both my sugar level will go up on both of them, but I would say flan.
Flan?
Yeah.
Awesome. And Valentina, Tapatio, or Cholula, or Tabasco hot sauce? Which one would you prefer?
not really a big hot spicy guy, but I would say probably Cholula.
Cholula.
Yeah.
Cholula. And then conchita breads, the pastries, you like the white ones, the pink ones, or the brown ones?
Pastries.
Some conchitas,
Yeah,
little pastry breads.
yeah. I guess whichever one tastes good. Probably the pink ones.
Yeah, they're really
Yeah.
good too. Okay, so this is way off topic, nothing to do with this or that. A conspiracy theory that you heard one time somebody said, and you were like, that has to be true. No way that's not conspiracy. What would that be?
Hmm. Conspiracy theory. Uh, I would say. Well, I probably heard a couple, but I would say when anybody talks about, and especially now in the season of Halloween, you know, as far as like real true horror
Yeah,
stuff that's
of course.
happened. I mean, of course they say it's a true story, but then other people's like, oh, it could be a myth as well. So you never really know, and so it's kind of like that. I hear that, and it's kind of I'm not, with spirits and everything.
So, but
Yeah.
which one did you heard of? Some like maybe a ghost appearing, or maybe like Llorona, or maybe something like that. Anything that
Oh
you
yeah, yeah. La Llorona and Annabelle. Those are the ones that
heck,
yeah.
like Llorona's real. She don't need no passport. She's been sighted here in Texas, in California too, by the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's
Yeah.
real. I don't doubt people have seen her for real.
Yeah, no, and I've I'm pretty sure like, and I've heard a lot about La Llorona as well,
Yeah.
and that's another one that's kind of like myth, but also true at the same time. And I've seen some, I guess
Yeah.
you can say on social media, certain people saying they've seen it, and I'm
I
like,
seen close relatives of mine tell me, so it's kind of hard for me to say that I don't believe them.
yeah,
I wouldn't want to call my relatives liars, and I know they wouldn't be lying to me
yeah,
about it. So I know whatever it was, like they had seen something.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So I was like, dang, like no way I can't. There's no way I cannot believe that she's real. I don't
yeah,
understand it. I don't
yeah.
understand what it is, but the fact that I
Yeah.
know that it's real is a real.
That
deal.
that's a possibility. It could be real.
Man,
Yes,
it's more
yes,
of a yeah.
yeah,
It has
yeah,
to be real.
yeah.
Okay, so when you hear the word Latino, Latina, Latinx, what
Mm.
first comes to mind to you immediately?
Um, I would say Latin Latin American people from Latin America, Central America, stuff like that. Um, that's what I normally uh as soon as somebody said Latino or stuff like that. I mean, I consider myself, well, I'm a Chicano, born
Right,
in the
Mexican
States, yeah,
American,
Mexican
Chicano.
American,
Mhm.
but I think I fall into that category as well, as
Cool.
far as Latino as well. And I mean, a lot of people see it a little differently. It's like, oh, because I know Spaniards are from Europe,
Mhm.
and we have the Latinos from Latin America, but the Spaniards are still kind of considered Latinos. I'm assuming,
They're
or
more well, they're still Europeans. Spaniards
European.
would be Europeans.
Yes.
One of the other words that gets confused, that gets thrown around with Spaniards would be Hispanic because they
Yeah.
speak Spanish, but
Yeah.
they're not in the Latin
Latin
Americas.
America.
That's why they would be like more Hispanic. But
Mm,
I think technically they're more Europeans.
mm,
Hispanic because they speak Spanish. That's
mm,
it. And then because there were apparently some island or a place called Española or something like that.
mhm.
Of There's a reason why the word Hispanic came to be here
Okay.
in the Americas and things. I believe so.
Yeah. Okay.
I might be lying to y'all, but y'all can double
Yeah.
check and Google that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I be fact checking myself, but I believe that's correct. Okay. And so for you, I know you fall under the category, but do you care if anybody calls you Latino? Do you prefer to be more Mexican American or Chicano or Mexican,
I mean,
whichever you prefer?
technically it really it doesn't bother me.
Hmm.
I mean, I know I'm more Chicano, um, Mexican blood, Mexican American, Mexican parents, but or Mexican American parents, but
Right.
born here in the States. So I mean, it doesn't really bother me. I know certain other Latinos or Mexicans, it may bother them, but I mean, regardless, when you say it's Latin food, or you
Right.
already know, I love Latin food. I mean, I've tasted not just Mexican food, but other Latino food like Puerto Rican dishes as well. And
What is your go-to if you besides Mexican? What
mhm.
would be your second option for food to go to? Because I like
We've tried.
pupusas.
Oh yeah, we've tried.
Yeah, pupusas
Um,
go
I
hard.
forgot the name of it, but it's El Salvadoreño
Uh huh.
food, and I forgot the name of the restaurant, but it's papusas, and and we love papusas.
Is that the alarm again? So what had happened was, before the gentleman got here, it was crazy. It's been a crazy day. First of all, we're not gonna cut this off because it's real. There was a car on fire in the freaking basement, and I got stuck.
Wow.
So right now we're still, I guess they're testing the alarms to make sure we're good to go. So even before they got here, they had to wait a little bit, wait for the firefighters to get cleared the whole building. I went downstairs to the garage because that's where the fire was at. There was a car on fire. I got myself stuck down there. Luckily, a gentleman found me. He's like, "What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here." I'm like, "I don't want to be here, but I don't know how to get out." So he let me out, and I finally made it. So if y'all hear an alarm, don't worry about it. Just go with it, okay? Back to the question. So what? We were talking about pupusas. So Salvadorian food.
Yeah.
So you like Salvadorian? Would that be your next to go to?
Yes.
Mexican?
Oh yes. We've tasted papusas and even the what is it, the El Salvadoreño tamales that they have, and I didn't even know they had tamales. I was like, when I tasted, it tastes pretty good.
Are there the tamales, the big tamales too, that have a bunch of stuff in them?
Yeah,
too?
theirs is more. I forgot what kind of is it.
Banana leaf they put.
Yes, that's what it is. That's what I was trying to. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Banana leaf that they use.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what was different, and but it's good. It's good as well.
Latin American food, Peruvian food, Salvadorian food, Puerto Rican food. Man, they got some really good food. Like top cuisines, Peruvian food. If you never had Peruvian food, go try it out. You'll really love it.
Yeah, never.
So yeah, we do definitely Latinos.
Yeah,
have one.
Yeah, never tried it, but I know I would definitely like to try Peruvian food
for sure. And do you relate yourself more to the word Chicano because is that something you grew up at that time when you were growing up that you heard more, or what is the, I mean, I'm not saying you prefer to be, but you kind of sort of fall in line with that word more a little bit for yourself. Why is that?
Yeah, I guess because being Mexican American, growing up in in the United States, Houston, specifically, I mean like the Mexicans or the Chicanos that I grew up with as well, we were considered Chicanos. I mean, we grew up Mexican. I mean, we grew up American, but we have our household was Mexican and stuff like that. So we pretty much had I guess you could say, the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So I mean, being considered Chicano, I don't see a problem, being Chicano. Like when they have Chicano festivals, I'm like, hey, I can kind of fit in there a little bit,
Absolutely. You're right. It's interesting you say that, right? Best of both worlds, but sometimes not the best of both worlds either, right? Because you have the beautiful culture of the U.S. that you get to embrace, and then you have the beautiful culture of the Mexican. But you also get those that the Mexicans sometimes don't want to embrace you so much because you're not technically Mexican.
Yeah.
But then the Americans, all you see is a Mexican.
Yes, so. Yes. That, I mean, I've definitely had that, and and being Chicano, Mexican American, like the Mexicans from Mexico, I understand they have their own views and their own ways of looking at things and doing things, and I've always kind of, I guess you could say, felt a little left out.
Yeah.
Because they say, oh, I'm a Chicano, I speak more English, or I act more American and stuff like that than to be like Mexicano. But I'm like, well, that's the way I was brought up. That's the way I was raised. My household, my sisters all speak English. There's a couple of them that speak a little Spanish here and there, but we grew up more more American. My dad's from Nuevo Laredo.
Nice.
And my mom's from Chicago, Illinois, so born and raised. So I kind of got the best of both worlds there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So shout out to my parents. I love your mom, dad. I love y'all. Love my
That's awesome.
Hopefully they watch it.
They forget that a lot of people forget. Mucha gente se les olvida que como buen mexicano uno nace donde se le pega la regalada gana, meaning whether you were born here or not. We Mexicans are born wherever they freaking feel like.
Yep.
Whether we were here or somewhere else, if you got the blood, you're Mexican to the core. I know the old people are close-minded. Sometimes they want to accept it, pero un mexicano nace donde se le pega la regalada gana. It means here in the States.
Yes. And I'm glad. Didn't mean to cut you off. I'm
No, you
sorry,
good. You
but
good.
and what I like too is that it's good to see Mexicans or like Mexican Americans or Chicanos like everywhere. Like you have you and that makes me feel proud when I see other Mexican Americans or just Mexicans doing things, big things like doing stuff that they would think Mexicans or Latinos wouldn't do
Yeah.
or wouldn't I guess you could say conquer or wouldn't um be considered doing because I know the outsiders kind of view us a little different.
Yep.
And I know that there's a lot of we have a lot of culture, we have a lot of talent, a lot to give, and it's lots of times it gets looked over.
Yeah, and it's cool
So
that even yourself take the bravery to do music, jump into, because it's not something common. A lot
yes,
of us, our people coming up, they'll be like either working at our job or whatever. More recently, a few years, people started getting their own jobs, their own
yeah,
companies, and they started working in that instead
yeah,
of just being in a factory working for the man. They started just expanding, and music was one thing, rap, acting. All of a
yeah,
sudden, we start taking embracing those roles because we can. Why not? Why
yeah,
wouldn't be part of the things that we are able to do?
yeah,
Why
exactly.
are we going to be the ones that cut the grass all the time or work in construction? Nothing wrong with them, but I'm saying
Yeah,
there's more
yeah.
that
There's
you
more
can
than
still do than that. You can still continue to further expand whatever it is that you want to do and not
yeah,
limit yourself into those particular jobs that everybody stereotypes. Not everybody, but a lot of people stereotype that this is the things that you're able to do. Like, no,
yeah,
there's no box. We can
yeah.
do whatever we feel like.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever you put your mind to, you can make it happen.
Yeah.
And just because you're Latino or Hispanic or Mexican American, don't look at yourself and doubt yourself or put yourself down and say, oh no, I can't. I'm Mexican. I can't do this. No, why not? I mean, if you got the talent or if that's what's in your heart, you
Yeah.
follow your heart. I mean, whether it doesn't matter if it's music or whatever. If that's what you want to do, open up your own business, start your own clothing line
Yeah.
or whatever. Do it, but do it with all your heart.
And not to mention, we tend to forget that if you're a lot of Latinos, a lot of Mexicans, Latinos too, they're from Mayan blood, from
Mm,
Aztec blood, and they made a magnificent. Like if it wasn't for the Mayans, we wouldn't have zero, the
mhm,
number zero, which is very important in mathematics. If
mhm,
it wasn't for the Mayans and the Aztecs, we wouldn't have certain things that we have. And those are the
exactly.
ancestors and the blood that runs through our veins that we can tend to forget. Like
Mhm,
they were capable of doing those things way back in the days.
mhm,
If we can remember that, imagine what are the things that we are able to do now instead of
exactly.
like, oh, you're just a Mexican, this, you this, and that.
Yeah,
No, we're
yeah.
come from some very, very impressive people in the history of humanity.
Yes, yes, we do.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. All right, so let's get to the interview part. So, do you know a little bit of your history of your parents? I know your mom's from Chicago, and
Mhm.
then your dad's from Nuevo Laredo. Do you know how they got? Well, your mom's been here all her life. She
Yeah,
was born in Chicago.
she grew up in um my mother was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. I don't know exactly what part of Chicago, but I know she was born and raised. All my tios,
Mm-hmm.
all her brothers,
Mm-hmm.
they all born and raised in Chicago as well. My father was born in Nuevo Laredo and then was brought over with my grandma and my tios and tias. He said they were brought by train from
Yeah.
Nuevo Laredo to Chicago because at the time my grandfather was working in Chicago and my grandfather was a musician.
Mm.
So
Wow.
yeah, he played in a cumbias band
Oh,
from
nice.
from what I known and what I was told as well. So
And they're all from Tamaulipas for Nuevo Laredo?
I think he is. I mean, my dad never really spoke too much
Okay, okay.
about that, but yeah, I think he might be from there. I know he always said Nuevo Laredo,
Yeah.
but
It's crazy to know that that existed, right? Because I
mhm,
know a gentleman that he said he got to the States illegally, but they used to jump in the train and just let the train take them wherever. And then
yeah,
they know they were going to get to the United States.
yeah,
So they get in the train, wherever it just stops, there's where they get off. They're already
yeah,
in Norte, and then just start making their way and like getting jobs and just
yeah,
establishing themselves in whatever community they landed.
yeah.
And so it's crazy that one all the way from Tamaulipas all the way to freaking
Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah, that's a
It's like,
long.
yeah, that's a long way.
Yeah, that's definitely a long way. That's what
Yeah.
I thought myself, and my dad. So he grew up in Chicago, of
Uh-huh.
course. Learned English in Chicago, and then my dad was in the army. He got drafted into the army and got his citizenship.
Oh, wow.
That's how he got his citizenship in the army. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah, so that's why I was, that's as one of my dad's accomplishments, I'm glad to say is speak on or whatever.
Absolutely, I
Yeah,
appreciate your dad's service. I'm a veteran
yeah,
myself. I say it all the time, by the way. I ain't gonna stop saying it, but I appreciate it. Now it's not easy to be, and not to mention to be drafted. Not
yeah,
like at least I volunteered to go there. He
yeah,
was like,
yeah. He got
"They
drafted.
didn't give
Yeah,
it a choice. Do
yeah,
you want to go?" No, we're
yeah,
going, homie. Come on.
yeah, yeah. That's exactly.
And then your mom's family, do you know where they come from? What part of Mexico? How many
That
generations?
yeah, that I don't know. I know my um I don't know where my because honestly I'm the youngest uh out of my brother and my sisters.
Yeah.
I have like four older sisters and one older brother. Well, I had one older brother. I'm the baby, so by the time I was born, I'm pretty sure that my parents had plenty of practice. So, but as far as that question, so my grandma on my mom's side, she was still alive, but she was already blind at the time. She was already older, blind at the time, and
Yeah.
she spoke more Spanish than she did English, but she could speak English, or she could understand it, stuff like that. But that me being young, I really didn't get the chance to really ask my mother,
Yeah.
hey, what part of Mexico was my grandma from? Um, so, but I don't really know. I mean, that'll be definitely something I can find out. I can ask my
Yeah.
sisters ask
Absolutely.
my sisters, or you know, hopefully speak with my mom, and maybe she'll be able to let me tell me.
Yeah, I'm just
So
always for
yeah,
me is I'm curious about that part because I know sometimes people have interesting stories about how they made it over, how they made it to the states, what
hmm,
brought them, the reason why, like that train thing. That's pretty
yeah,
crazy that they were
yeah,
able to take that chance, jump on the train, not even knowing, and landed in Chicago.
yeah,
That's
and
crazy.
it was my dad and like three other uncles and my aunt, my tia. So, and I guess they were all kids. And my grandma said, "Come on, let's go."
Just like that. It's
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Okay, so what is the earliest memory for you as far as getting involved with music? Of course, they mentioned that it's kind of a little bit in the blood because your grandfather used to be in a cumbia band. But as
Yeah.
far as for you, what is the earliest memories of you getting into music or being kind of sort of like discovering music or what music was?
I would say back in when I was in, I guess you say middle school.
Hmm.
I was always asked to be in R&B groups.
Really?
And it was crazy. I'm like, the only Mexican boy asked to be in R&B groups, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, I didn't know. I mean, don't what I knew about R&B was what I heard on the radio and mainstream
Hmm.
in Houston. So, but didn't really know that I can sing until I actually started getting into the actually into groups, and then that's when I was like, okay, well, maybe I could do this a little bit, and
Yeah.
so I just started developing from there. My vocals just started developing.
So
Yeah.
prior to that, you never sang ever? Never. How did they discover that you know how to sing?
Oh, what do you mean, like my friends
Like your
or
friends, like
oh
okay, what was the first crew that invited you to join their R&B group? Do you remember them?
yeah, I remember. I don't remember the name, but I remember. I know the name of my guys that I still keep in touch with them now.
Uh huh.
One of my boy Brian, Brian Angel. Shout out to Brian Angel. My boy Shimon Lee. They were the main two that really got me into singing and doing
And how did
R&B.
they knew that you knew how to sing?
Well, I guess because we were in choir.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
we were
that's
in
what it
choir
was.
in middle school, and being in choir, that's how they were in choir with me, and that's how they found, oh yeah, he can sing. So then we would stay after school and practice, rehearse as a group, and
Really,
just build that, building our sound and just really developing our voices.
that's pretty cool.
So yeah, it was pretty cool.
What made you want to get into choir? Why did you want to? Was it just a no choice? You got to get in somewhere, or your
Oh
friends
well,
kind of?
I would say because I think in sixth grade, honestly, in sixth grade, I was in band at first, and then but I was always friends with like I said, my boy Brian Angel and my boy Shimon. I was always friends with them. They were like, man, she should get in choir. We're in choir, man. It's cool, and they get your friends kind of
Don't
peer
lie, there was
pressure
a bunch of
convince you.
girls in choir, and
Yeah,
they
that
were
too, that too. That's hey man, they got girls over there in choir, man. And I was like, for real? I was like, okay, and then the next semester I changed to get into choir, and I was finally able to
nice.
get into choir, and it was fun. I mean, we were able to sing, go to different places, different events, and sing with the choir. and so that actually taught me. Well, I learned how to sing from there, and it also taught me how to use my voice and harmonies. Learn how to sing with other people.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
So it's not only just knowing how to sing, it's knowing how to sing with other people
yeah,
too.
yeah, knowing how to sing and harmonize and knowing harmonies and
Yeah.
knowing your vocal range and stuff like that. So
Did that group ever take off anywhere? Were y'all doing any kind of gigs by yourselves, anything like that?
we did at one point, I know it was I can't remember the group, like it was so long
It's so
ago,
good, so good.
but I remember we did sing for some we did sing at it was another high school that we were singing at, um and I remember we were on stage performing, and it was some I forgot, some rep that was there from a certain label. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
It's been so long. I know, I'm pretty sure my boys
I mean,
remember,
get
but
tap into the closet of memories right
yeah,
now. Like,
yeah. I'm like, ooh, let me think, let me think. I mean, but um, yeah, there was a rep there. I can't remember, but we did outside of school, outside of choir, we did perform different places at at schools and stuff like that. And I think we even performed at another high school. Was in Magnolia,
mhm.
Magnolia, Texas. We performed at that school as well, and was also in a play because one of the guys that was in the group was not just a singer; he also wrote plays.
Oh
And
wow.
so that was a play and in the play we were one of the scenes was us singing. So he incorporated his R&B group into the play. So
Nice.
it was like, yeah, so he was very talented.
How did you
So
feel when you first started getting to know how to sing? Because I'm pretty sure whenever were you a natural singing, or once you got into choir after a little bit of time, you realized, oh, this is how you do it. This
um yeah, I mean, it kind of, I guess, me learning, learning how to sing, from being in choir, and then just singing my favorite songs on the radio. That's what made me really realize, like, oh wow, I can actually sing these songs, and I can actually do something like that. Because I didn't,
yeah.
I was just listen to the radio and hear favorite songs, and of course, you hear them, every hour on the hour. So it's kind of, you start learning the words,
Yeah.
and that's so I started learning the words, and I'll sing along with them. Like, wow, I can actually hit these ranges and sing, do this, do that, and I was like, wow, okay, and so that's what kind of made me say, okay, maybe I can do this. Maybe maybe I can. And then, like I said, it also runs in the family
Yeah.
because on my mother's side, I do have I had uncles that played in a band
Also,
over there as well. So yeah, there's music on both sides of my family.
nice.
So yeah, my uncles played. They played all different kind of music. But yeah,
Regional mostly, or
I
different
think it
types.
was like all different. I think
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure they play cumbia, Spanish music, all different kinds, rock music. I mean, I didn't know. I really didn't know because I didn't grow up in Chicago. I was born in Houston, but my older sisters, they, when they were young, they would hear my tios playing, and cousins playing, and
Yeah.
playing music in the background, or down, because my cousins and
Mhm.
my family on that side, they didn't stay too far from where my mom and my sisters lived.
Were you
So
born in Chicago, or were you born here in
no,
Houston?
I was born in Houston.
So what brought your parents to, or your mom, and your dad to Houston?
I guess I'm pretty sure a few things, but I think my dad just wanted, I guess, a better life for I would say, like, my sisters at the time, because I wasn't born yet when they moved down here.
Mhm.
So I'm assuming he wanted a better life for my sister. So they moved on down here and
Yeah.
started going to high school here, and or stuff like that, and they eventually made lives down here and got married and stuff like that. So I'm thinking just a better life. I would say, I don't know if at that time, Chicago was, you know, getting bad or something. I don't
It was a
know.
little crazy. It's been
Yeah, because
crazy for some time. I know a lot of
yeah,
people were
yeah,
driven away from for the same reason. They were
yeah,
like
yeah. That's that.
vandalism, theft, all kinds of stuff. It's like, hey, it's getting kind of crazy over
Yeah, and
here.
I think that might have been one of the reasons my dad moved, and then like a few years later, I was born here in Houston. So I mean, as a kid, I went back and forth
Gotcha.
to Chicago.
So
So
I mean, besides the original group that y'all sang at
mhm,
Magnolia, another
mhm.
one, what other R&B groups were you part of? Do you remember any of them?
Yeah, there was well, the one that I do remember now, the one that I did sing with at in Magnolia, Texas, was it uh think it was emo. I'm a pat. No, not mixed emo. I think it was Passion.
Passion.
Yeah, and we had an R&B group named Passion.
Nice.
Yeah, we had an R&B group Passion. And then um after that, I think like in high school, I really didn't. I was just more in choir in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't. Um, we had little groups there in choir as well. Oh, we had another one in high school was Image.
Image.
That was one
Yeah.
that we in high school was Image. So that's one of the groups I had in high school. And then after I got out, after graduating high school, just was really just doing more. I guess you could say singing solo, but also trying to look for another like R&B group. And one of the last ones I did have was Endure.
Indoor.
Yeah, it was
What kind of stuff did y'all do together?
We didn't, I guess you could say, last that long, but we did actually sing. We were trying to I guess find our sound and sing together and stuff like that. This one was more, you could say, was more of like a Hispanic group. It was all the
Gotcha.
R&B, and that was pretty cool because at that time, that wasn't something that was heard of, and I was like, yo, man, I told the guys we can really do something, man. And,
Yeah.
if we buckle down and focus and really take this serious. So, but I guess it just didn't work or whatever. So, but we did get a chance to sing um one of I think was it one of our songs for the Barrio Boys. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
remember the Barrio Boys.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
a
because
minute ago.
they
Yeah,
came
yeah.
because they had, I think, like a Selena Fest thing, and
Yeah, Barrio Boys.
like I think it was a 10-year, 20-year that was in Houston, and it was at the Hilton downtown Houston. I remember,
Yeah.
and I remember one of the guys that was in the group was like, you know, hey, that Body Boys are right, here at the Hilton, and I was like, "Yeah, for real?" And we were like, hey, well, can we come down and can we? Because he knew Body Boys manager,
Yeah.
and well, he knew the Body Boys too. So, and I was like, well, hey man, can we come down there? Can we sing for him? And they were like, yeah. He was like, come on. So we all met. I said, hey, I called everybody. We all called each other. Hey, let's meet at the Hilton, and we met, and we went. We met in the lobby. Met the Body Boys, and we sang for them. I remember we did
You were
that.
singing a cappella at that time?
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no
yeah. No,
music?
there was no music.
No
Yeah,
music
yeah. We just sang
whatsoever.
a
And the
cappella.
songs you were talking about, y'all songs, was something y'all composed together with no track yet? It's just acapellas?
Yeah. Well, there was one song that we were original song that we were actually working on. So we did have a instrumentation to it, but it was a song that was written by a friend of mine that
Nice.
he it was like, here, you guys can sing this song. So, and I'm trying to think, was that the song that we sang to him, or if because I know we did a lot of um we did a cover song, some, I guess you could say, from Jagged Edge.
So what
We
did they
did.
think for y'all
Oh,
singing?
well, I think, to me, I thought they were impressed or whatever, stuff like
Uh-huh.
that. And I remember they were just telling us, hey, keep doing it, keep singing and stuff like that. And we were like, yeah, I mean, we were all excited. I was excited. I mean, it's like, your Hispanic R&B group,
So this is
man.
like the biggest thing that happened to you so far as your early music career.
Um, that's one of them.
Yeah.
That's one, yeah. That'll be one that I won't forget. I mean, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. So I
That's
was like,
pretty dope.
yeah.
Okay, so after that, you keep traveling your music, you start focusing a little bit on the solo. When did you just decide, you know what, let me just do that by myself and then focus? I know about 5 years ago, yeah, you got a whole lot more serious with the music. But what exactly drove you to want to just focus more, buckle down, like you said earlier, and start working on your own material?
Well, I guess I was like, well, hey, this is either I'm gonna do music, I'm gonna sing for the rest of my life, or I'm gonna work a 9 to 5, or like work for somebody else, or work for
Yeah.
the band, like they say. So I had to make a decision. I'm like, well, I mean, what do I love to do? And I know you always hear, do what you love to do. And so I was like, well, I love to sing. I think I'm good at it. So I was like, okay, well, let me take this serious as a solo artist. Let me take
Mm-hmm.
this serious. I mean, yes, I was definitely nervous, and because I was like, okay, I've never really sang too much as a solo artist. I was always in R&B groups.
Right.
But now I'm like, so I just had kind of had to just find my way. Of course, having like musical friends that do music as well, and they actually helped me and guided me too. To be, hey, you need songs, I got you. The right songs, or we get in the studio and write together. Making the instrumentation stuff like that, or meeting other producers or other songwriters through them, and that's what kind of just was like, okay, I think I can do this, and then just of course me singing cover songs and stuff like that, and putting them on social media, and it was like, man, seeing that the reaction or the views, I'm like, man, I think I can actually do this as a
Right.
solo artist, and so I was like, I just gotta perfect, just be serious about it, and be consistent, and perfect my craft.
Yeah.
So and then that's when I actually started going to a community college for audio engineering. Well, I took audio engineering, but I also took private voice lessons as
Mm-hmm.
well, because I still wanted to make sure I perfect my singing, and just have other ways of knowing how to sing without having to strain or blow my voice out,
Oh yeah.
and then also learn the back end stuff too, because that was another thing that was like, I need to learn the back end as far as learning how to record in studio, record other people in the studio, knowing knowing EQs and compression and stuff
Which
like
one's your
that, and
plugins?
yeah,
Which
plug-in
ones?
stuff like
And
that, and
like,
learning that, because I even I told myself, I was like, if I can learn that too, that's another income I can bring in as well. Not
yeah,
not that if I need to step back from the singing a little bit, I can fall back on the audio engineering
yeah.
and just engineer, and still kind of make some money from that, to be able to survive, and just put that into my music, into my and me as a solo artist.
So you went and
So
got the whole degree. You graduated.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So
Congratulations.
thank you, yeah.
And from that, did you see it also as a, like, I don't know if you like to record yourself or not, but going into a studio sometimes it's a little pricey depending on who you go, or
Yeah.
who's the engineer, who's whatever the studio might be.
Mhm.
Did you find yourself that you didn't mind recording yourself, or you just see it as an additional income, but still take those funds and go to another studio so they can record you?
Um, well, the way I do it, I just have somebody else record me, but I do like recording myself, because then I get to take my time, and if I mess up, I go, oh well, that's what the studio is for anyway. You mess up, you do it till you get it right,
Yeah.
and then I get to once I get one part done, I'm like, all right, that's when I start adding harmonies and stuff like that, and I start playing with my vocals. I'm like, okay, I could do this and do that, and it's like, wow, and then next thing I know,
Mhm.
I'm like, man, that sound good, like, so it's to me, it's just being creative with it.
Yeah.
So I do like doing it, but most of the time, right now I've just been really just, you know, having someone, hey, let's, sing this or sing that. I mean, I can follow direction too. If somebody's, hey, sing this or sing it this way, sing that way, I can follow direction, but I can also record myself, and record myself Pro Tools, stuff like that as well. So
Is that what you like to use? Pro Tools? Pro
Pro
Tools?
Tools predominantly, yes.
Yes.
But I mean, and that's what I'm more savvy at as far as engineering. Pro Tools. I'm learning Logic as well. Um, I know there's some other ones like Cubase. I don't really know too much about that, but
Right.
I mean, as long as if the engineer knows, what he's doing on Cubase to record me, make sure we have a good sound and capture the sound well, then I have no problem with it. Let's record, and let's make music.
And did you, once you done it and get it wherever you wanted to record it, or somebody recorded it, do you mix and master yourself? Or did you got a person that you like to go to?
Well, normally I do have an engineer that I take my music to once. I mean, I don't mix and master it.
Mhm.
The guy my guy that records me, he does a rough mix,
Yeah.
or and then after that, we once we send a session, or I take the session to set up a session with my engineer, and then take him the session, or I email it to him, and he has a session. We leave the vocals dry and everything, so he can remix and stuff like that, and then he does
And
an
you give him
amazing
like a
job.
reference of what you needed to, which out the idea of it, and then let him do his magic on it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah. I want to give a shout out to my engineer Bruce Bang back in Houston, Texas. Man, he's actually he's mixed all my music really. So, and it sounds phenomenal too, man. So that's why I trust him a lot with, because he sings as well, and
Mm.
he knows not just hip hop or rap or whatever,
He's
but he
got
also
that
knows
ear for a
singing. Yes,
singer.
yeah, and that's why lots of times with the harmonies, blending them, you got to blend them a certain way, and you got to know how to make them backgrounds and leave the leads and stuff like that. And I don't really have to say too much. He knows, and I was like, hey, let's try this or let's try it. All right, cool. And we tried, and if it works, cool. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We just keep moving.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
So, what will be your process for you to create music? What is your creative process? Do you get the track? I know you do features, but do you like to get the track? Do you like to start from zero? Go with a producer that knows how to. Maybe you have an idea, like maybe a harmony or something you want to build from there, and then create the beat, or do you like to listen to some beats and go from there?
Uh, Mostly it's listen to the beat and then go from there. But sometimes I just, I mean, with me, it's a little different. Like creativity hits me different.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I can be not listening to anything and just have melodies in my head and I start singing and I'm like, oh, I like that, and I'll hurry up and try to record it on my phone or
Yeah.
on my voice recorder or whatever. And then other times, I'll get beats from producers and then listen to it and be like, and then start vibing with it. I normally start off with melodies.
Melodies.
That's what I do for the songs. I start out with melodies first and then go back and put lyrics, but it just depends because sometimes I can start off with lyrics and then
Mm-hmm.
put the melody right to it. It's just, I guess it just depends on my how I'm creative that day.
Yeah.
But most of the time I start off with melodies.
And did
Yeah.
you I know you're saying somebody else was writing previously before for you, or some people send you songs. Do you like that, or you like to write it yourself? Make sure that you do everything.
Well, I like.
Thank you so much for being here today and checking out this amazing episode. Make sure you go and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment and a like. And now back to the episode.
I like both because like my songwriter that I go to, he has a lot of good ideas when it comes to writing.
Mm.
Sometimes, don't get me wrong, I get writer's block as they
Yeah,
call
of
it,
course.
and I'm like, I don't know what to write. I mean, I try to think things, and sometimes I have to step away from it and come back months later, and then something hits me right there. Or sometimes it doesn't. It just depends. And
Right.
but with my songwriters, they normally they hear it, they can write it more on the spot. So I don't write it as quick. It just depends on when creativity hits me.
That's
But
cool.
but I would like, and especially on this my new project that I'm working on, I'm being a little bit more hands on writing.
Okay.
So
So let's talk about that. You have a project out,
yeah, with DT Wale,
and that
DT Wale
stands
AP.
for
Don't Take Your Love Away.
Don't Take Your Love Away.
Yeah,
And that's an EP or a whole album?
that's an EP.
That's an EP. And when did the idea of you wanting to go ahead and do that for you, like create an EP for yourself? And how did that process go for you?
Yeah. Well, I know because I know. Excuse me. Um, Creating EP, I was like, I was thinking too because I know nowadays, um, nobody's really buying albums or
Right.
downloading albums. So that's why I was like, well, I don't want to, record all these songs and not, they only listen to maybe 3 to 5 of them. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just do a small, and this is my first EP. So I'm like, let's start off small. Let's do, a 6 song EP and just see how it goes from there and stuff like that. And
Did you
what
do any singles prior to that to build to that EP?
um well, we did. I had 2 of them, which was D2LA and right now.
Right now.
Yeah, my single right now. The reason why I named it D2LA was because that was the first song that was recorded for the EP, and that was actually the first song I written by myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So
I
that
mean,
whole song is you.
yeah, that's on me. Don't Take
Nice.
Your Love Away. That's the first song I've written by myself. The other songs I co-wrote with my songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
But that one was just me, and
Yeah.
and I already had the instrumental track to it. Track for D2LA. The track was done by Tony Sway. Shout out to Tony Sway, my boy Tony Sway. He produced the track. Um, that that was the first song, and I was like, wow, that I still love that song, and today that song's I'm like, if I can write this, then I can
Yeah.
I can continue to keep writing good songs like that, and so that's what that song started the whole EP. So that's why I
What
was
was
like,
the inspiration behind that song and the lyrics for it?
um, I guess at that time, I'm thinking I might have been going through something, so I think that's what just I guess helped me to write that song. Um,
So you channel those feelings of things that you have going on to help you write the lyrics and help you give it
yeah.
emotion.
Yes,
Nice.
yes, and lots of time, and I know they say, when in music, it's good to always use life experience and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
in that case, I was going through some stuff right at that time, so I used that experience, and I just I wrote that. It took me a couple times because I wrote it a few times, a few different
Mm.
times, but this last time that I wrote it is what you hear now on the EP. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, and then um, that to me, that's how it felt, and it fit perfect. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick with that. I'm not gonna, because had like 2, 3 other verses, different verses, and they were good, but it just didn't fit right. And then this one, they fit right, and then this also was what I was trying to say.
And how long was the entire process for you to complete the EP? How long did it
Actually,
take you?
I think it probably took me, I would say maybe like a month and a half too long. It
Really?
didn't take like, yeah, once we recorded D2LA, I got with my guy, and he was like, hey, let's stay consistent. Let's keep, recording. So, there was like the next song. And then after that, not in the same day, but it was like I come like the next weekend,
It was
come over
pretty
there.
fast paced.
Yeah.
You were on a
So it
mission to
was
get it
like
done.
pretty much every weekend we were recording 1 or 2 songs. So
Oh,
we had it
nice.
knocked out pretty quick, and then we got it mixed.
Tell me about the cover, because the cover, I don't know if I read it again correctly, but I believe it said Robert V at that time. Were you messing around with the name? Was you changing it around? Did you have made your name going with Rob V instead? Was it easier?
Yeah, I was messing around. I was like, should I go with Robert V? Um, or should I go with Rob V? I was like, I was just going back and forth with it. I was like, I mean, I like both, but Robert's kind of a little bit longer than
Mm-hmm.
Rob V. Rob V is a little bit shorter, and so I was like, well, I guess I'll just on this EP it was Robert V, but I said, but my next projects I'll
Rob
start with
V.
Rob V, stuff like that, and then and now, me building my brand and me building my name, more people know me as Rob V than Robert V. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll just stick with that, Rob V. But I mean, I can always, later, like, yeah, it's Robert V, and because that's my first name, so I can
Yeah.
always
So it's a
extend it.
play on your real name.
Yeah.
And was there any other names that you wanted to go? You want to go with something cool? Smooth
Uh,
V, Smooth Robert V. Anything
uh,
else? Any other names made the runner up?
um, I don't. I mean, I tried, but I was like, I don't know. I was like, cause let's see, Robert V. I mean, and my middle name's Paul, so I was like, I don't know if I want to do Robert Paul. Like, how look at myself as an artist, Robert Paul. And I was like Paul V, or I was like, nah.
How about a telenovela named Roberto Pau B? No.
I was thinking, I was like
Roberto
Roberto
Paul.
or Roberto. I was like Roberto V, like GQ, like
Hey, you gotta give
Roberto
it
V.
hey, that's got a ring to it.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
one of the songs could be alter ego Roberto P.
yeah,
Roberto P.
yeah.
Roberto PB. That's pretty cool. Okay, so finally you get the EP done. You started working on the admin part, how to distribute it, where to go to. Did you figure out that yourself, or did you get somebody to help you out to do that part? As far as where to go to, where to take your song, how to get it distributed, how to go ahead and get it in all platforms.
Yeah, I mean, I did I did do my research, but I also had help with, people that I knew that helped me. Like my songwriter, he helped me. Hey, once we get the EP recorded or completed, all the vocals, everything, um, take it to his engineer is Bruce Bang,
Mm-hmm.
so which now became my engineer. So I took it to him, and Bruce Bang, he's mixed for a lot of different people that are on the radio now.
Oh wow.
So, and then, hearing how he mixed my whole EP, I was like, oh yes, I was sold. I was like, yes. I mean, even the first song, but I was sold on the whole, how he mixed and mastered the whole EP. I was sold. I was like, yeah, he's my go-to engineer.
How big was
So,
an investment for that particular project?
I did spend some money, but I really think it was worth it. Because again, this was done all independent.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't I wasn't with a label or anything like that. As just independent Ravi music, and at the time I had a management at that time too that was helping me a little bit here and there. So, um, It was a good bit that we spent, but I mean I think it was worth it.
Did he showed you where to go to register your music, whether it be ASCAP, BMI, and as
Uh,
far as getting your royalties?
I think I was already registered with ASCAP because
Mhm.
um been doing it so long. I was registered with ASCAP. I registered myself years back. It's just didn't really have material yet to upload to ASCAP. Now I do. Now I have my whole EPs on ASCAP, but um and then just going like also going to the school for audio engineering as well. You also learn, you if you're not in those classes, you from people that you're working that you're in class with, or you that's how you learn stuff like, hey, make sure your songs are registered with ASCAP or BMI, PRO, Performing Rights Organization, or make sure if you want to get your music online, you can put it on TuneCore, CD Baby, Distro Kid, stuff like
So
that.
you're already
So
learning from them because
yeah,
they were doing it too. They had the
yeah,
same inspirations for
yeah,
you.
and I seen other artists as well that had their stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I would go more towards that to try to get it on there right
Right.
now, and then also too, then there were then after I know I started hearing more about um distribution, like as far as um like labels, or just like other companies having distribution to where they like you can go straight to like personally talk with them instead of going through like online, like
Mhm.
TuneCore, stuff like that. You can actually go talk with them, and there's an office you can meet with them, and it was as far as distribution. So that's what I started looking in more
Yeah.
toward.
And what was what would the difference between indie, just yourself and no label whatsoever, and them going to a particular label that you can distribute? What was the difference? Or what was the benefit to go with a particular label just for distribution? Was there any perks? Was there anything additional that will be able to help you to actually reach more people?
um I did think about it, but my main thing was like I'm already doing my company Ravi Music was already doing um all the stuff that the labels were doing anyway. The only what I was lacking was like promotion, marketing, and distribution.
Mhm.
So I was like, as far as getting in the studio, I had several access to different studios plus my studio. I had songwriters to help me write, or I write myself. I can get producers, or I produced a little bit myself. I play the keys as well, the piano as well. Um, so that part wasn't the hard part. It was just like, okay, promoting and social media, getting people, to get it to where you have somebody doing your social media every day, all day, stuff like that. Promoting, marketing, distribution, to where you can go with a distribution to where they're like, I guess you could say, the middleman,
Mhm.
and they may be distributed through Empire or Sony, stuff like that, but they just have distribution. So I'm like, okay, well, I that's what my brand needs, Ravi Music.
Okay, so explain to me this. So when I think distribution, see if you go to CD Baby or any other distributors and
Mhm.
you go there, if you upload your music there, you select where it needs to go to, it gets distributed to it.
Yeah,
That's what I think of
yeah, yeah, yeah,
distribution.
yeah, yeah.
But what did they do different? They were
Well,
telling you different.
how- I look at it as they're more like the middleman.
Mm-hmm.
They they still distributed iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, stuff like that, all online as well. And then I think that some of them, what they do is like, oh, we also shoot your videos. We also, if we put your stuff online, we're also gonna have it to where um um we have somebody working your social media. So it's kind of like what labels do too. It's kind of like
Ah,
that we'll work your social media to where, hey, your Instagram, you will constantly have content, stuff
yeah.
like that, to where every day instead of you always having to be doing content as an artist and then having to record, they let you focus more on that. So it is kind of like a
I
label as
heard
well.
some label or some distribution labels.
Mhm.
Part of the things they do too is they have a lot of playlists that your song gets played to
Mhm.
because that's where it's at. Putting it on playlists is beneficial for you where
Mhm.
you song. I'm talking about hundreds and thousands of playlists,
Mhm.
not just one or two or 20 or 30,
Mhm.
because you'll be able to see the movement. And Spotify, Apple Music, they're not against that because the bigger labels do it.
Mm-hmm.
They have all these playlists that they send to the curators, and they will be able to. You'll be able to see the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But you can do it independently, of course, because there's a bunch of playlist distributors, which I do it too. I have some music. I record some music, and I put it in there. I have 20,000 streams here, 10,000 streams there, but
Mm-hmm.
it's all through that.
Yeah.
Not to the labels,
Yeah.
to curators or playlists. They'll be able to put it in certain places and be able to move the
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah. That's and that too. Um, Having some of those distribution companies putting you on playlists, that definitely helps artists. For me, I know that would definitely help me
Yeah,
because it's not just like you said, it's not just like one or two different playlists. It's like multiple, like a whole.
yeah,
And this is where you want to be heard. Like this, like Spotify
yeah.
and I think other places as well.
Did you do any of that stuff when you were working in your song, when you were working your EP?
Yeah. Well, my DT Wale EP, I did have it online for a while. Um, I went through, was it TuneCore?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one, the ones that
Yep.
are online. But from there, I was like, well, I wanted to see. I was like, well, let me. I brought it. I took it off because I mean, of course, the management at that time that I was with, we kind of parted ways and did our own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, from there, I was like, okay, well, I need to get my music back online. So I'm like, so should I, go with back to TuneCore or CD or whatever, or go with more of a distribution? And I was thinking, well, let me see about going with more of a distribution. So right now, we're in that transition right now. That's where Ravi Music is in that transition of
Mm-hmm.
getting stuff with back online on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play. But just I guess deciding which distribution we want to go to, which one will be the best now that there's more that's starting to,
Gotcha.
more I guess in the industry now, distribution. So
Is there a particular label that y'all having serious conversations yet, or you still shopping
no,
around?
no, not right now. I mean, not right now, not the moment. Um, just really just staying focused, recording, make sure you're having recording new records, new songs, and just trying to stay busy and consistent. And then, hopefully, me doing the work or me putting in the work, that'll, get attention of the labels, and then we can start having that discussion.
Nice.
Yeah.
How was the input? How was the feedback for people, the music, the spectators, the fans, if you want to use that word? How was it as far as the music? What were they saying? What were you seeing online? And what would you have done better? I know that it was your first EP and there
Mhm.
was issues with the late, or not issues, but just y'all parted ways
With the management,
with the
yes. Yeah,
management.
with the management, yeah.
But with all that, what would you have done different for the first actual EP you launched? And
Hmm.
but what was the good things that you learned from it?
The good things I learned, um, was knowing how to I know how to put an EP together, knowing how to um record faster, record quicker, um and just knowing how to. This EP also helped me as far as performance wise, as far as doing my shows like live performances. It helped me to like, okay, because that was another step that we before me and the management party was I was doing shows, and I was like, that I got to work on, me being a solo artist now. I got to work on engaging with the, with the fans and singing and just knowing how to work the crowd. And so that's what this EP also started helping me with too, because of
Nice.
the songs that I have. So it kind of, I what you could say is it helped me build my confidence. So the EP did help.
And what about the feedback as far as the sound, the words, a particular song that stood out more than all the other ones, as people
Well,
were telling you?
yeah, I guess there were some people that, oh yeah, I like this song from this EP, I like that and like that, and yeah, that did help. That did motivate me more, like because the fans are important, and so when they would tell me that, I was like that would definitely motivate me to want to continue to keep doing shows and to continue to keep um, recording new songs and new records. But yeah, the fans are important, always important. I always try to make sure I make time after shows to
Mhm.
engage with them, take
Gotcha.
pictures, do get social media stuff like that. But yeah, I think just I guess you could say the input or the response from the fans is what kind of it motivates me,
Okay.
and
And
even now.
For the bookings, was it something that you were getting paid for the gigs, or were you just trying to put yourself out there to people recognize this material that you were putting out as far as whenever you got to perform and let them know to go check it out on whatever platform you had the song at that time?
Yeah, well, I mean, at the time, yeah, I mean, no, I wasn't really paying for shows. I mean, sorry, I wasn't getting
Getting
paid for
paid
it.
or
I
pay
wasn't.
for shows,
Yeah,
because there's people that will take your money to
yeah,
perform too.
yeah. No. I wasn't getting paid to do shows. Yes, I was. I did pay uh, to do shows. Still doing. Still paying to do shows. But it's more like, knowing which shows to take and know which ones like nah and stuff like that. But I mean, to me, I see it as building my brand, building my sound, because
Right,
nobody's really, like I said, I'm still building my brand. There's people that have heard of me, but then again, there's people that haven't, and
right.
so I'm just you really should trying to build my brand, as far as singing or just having the fans engage more with me
Yeah,
and stuff like that, and me getting engaging with the fans. So I mean, right now it's like I said, it's a grind, it's a hustle.
yeah.
You gotta make it, happen till you get to the point to where you start becoming a household name, to where it's like, hey, well, I want to come pay to see you and stuff like that. And
Yeah, and I'm
yeah,
not criticizing for if you pay or
yeah,
not get paid. I
yeah,
mean, again, you got your first project, you got it out there, you're getting good feedback. You got to be able to sing. A lot
mhm,
of the times, people may not gravitate immediately to a song. You got to put it in their face.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's a good thing that, because I've done it before too, where depending on what show, I did a little bit of rapping and perform,
mm,
but I never paid for shows.
mm,
But the ones that I did, I know that I was going to be on rotation for a radio station all the
mhm,
time.
mhm,
And I knew they were going to be on all the marketing,
mhm.
all the posters. And I knew they were going to get a good time to perform and opening up for like Snow the Product or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and a booth
yeah,
so I can have merch, so I can move things. So all
yeah,
those things incorporated, maybe what, 1,200 or something like that
yeah,
for an event that is one of the biggest one in town.
mm,
It's not a bad deal,
no,
you know?
yeah. So
So and people are funny. Some people would just take your money just to perform in front of 10 people, and
yeah,
that's not cool.
no,
But if it's worth it,
mm,
like there's myths about Master P buying 20,000 copies of
mm,
his own CD just so you can see that the units were moving, and labels all of a sudden was like, oh, there's 20,000 units being moved, and all
mhm,
of a sudden now we're gonna talk to you. We
mm,
want to talk to you because on paper it looks like you're moving so many units. If
mm,
that's a myth, my bad. I made it up. But I hear stories like that of
yeah,
different artists doing different things to be able
yeah,
to like draw attention to the labels. Like, hey, there's movement over here. What's going
yeah,
on here? Let me see.
yeah,
So again, I'm not against the idea of paying shows, but it's
yeah,
pretty cool that you are now being strategic as
yeah,
far as where you want to go or the shows that you want to be. Not just like you're so passionate about the project that you did and you want to see everybody. And no
yeah,
matter if
yeah,
there's 2 or 3 people,
yeah,
here you go, take my money, let me just put it. No, it's
yeah,
going to be more of like this is the
yeah,
ones more
yeah,
selective, and
yes,
this is one of I get more people to see it. The likelihood of you getting more fans and people introduced to your music is way higher
yeah,
than just performing for a couple people,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
not bad if it's the homies. Sometimes you gotta favors that you want to do to them, they
yeah,
book you, whatever,
yeah, yeah,
But they
yeah.
gotta understand it's an investment.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, and we got. I know I've started, or my team and I have started looking at it as, this is our brand. We have to build this brand. It's a business. So, yeah, there's shows that we're gonna pay for, and then there's other shows that be like, is it worth it? We talk about it. It's like, hey, is it worth doing? And if it is, then we do it. If not, then it's like, nah, that's fine. We'll pass, and we'll go. There'll be other shows,
Yeah.
or stuff like that. Or let's just stay focused on doing shows, or stay focused on recording. So,
You
yeah.
have a merch that you get to be like post a booth for yourself while you do some of the shows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some shows, yes, I do. And some I don't, but it's not because they won't let me. It's just sometimes, I'll be like, oh, now I ran out and I have to re up it. I haven't had time to re up yet, so I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do the show and I'll promote. Promote and I mean, right now I don't have my merch online. I do have a website.
Yeah.
But
Legit website too. Go check it
yeah,
out.
I do have a website, but we're working on trying to get like merchandise, everything on the website. So I got to get with my guy that does my websites for me, and takes time and stuff like
Yeah,
that. And
absolutely.
we got to set everything up, make sure everything works after it's set up and stuff like that. So, but it is coming. It is coming.
That's pretty cool.
So
Hey, even a little flyer poster with your picture with a QR code to go
Yeah.
to your music. Hey,
Yeah.
that goes a long way. We just
Yeah.
passing it out as long as you have a
Yes.
table that people can see it. Like, hey, this is my stuff. Go check it out.
Yeah.
It goes a long way.
Yes,
That's
definitely.
pretty dope.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that you finished this EP, you're working. You were mentioning earlier you were working on a new project.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the name for the project yet?
No yet. Not yet. I don't have a name, just been recording. I know I was thinking about going back and forth, like kinda I guess merging, you know, my EP with some of the new records and kind of just making an album, but we're still going back and forth. So I'm like, it'll the idea will hit me. I'm just right now. I'm just really just focused on just recording new material. I say once we knock out one record, okay, let's go to the next one, and till we this with this project I want to be this project I'm gonna write a little bit more on this one and produce a little bit more on this one as well, but I also want to be like, okay, pick and choose. All right, this one's gonna be the single. This is gonna be the first thing we're gonna drop from this one, or stuff like that. We got to shoot a video for this and make sure that everything's planned out strategic. Make sure we have the budget for it, stuff like that. So that all comes into play too, because being independent, you gotta. It's pretty much you have to come up with the money. It's not like you have investors or and eventually, if the brand Ravi Music does get investors, then hey, that's definitely a plus. We would definitely, we definitely would like to get investors. But in the meantime, we're, like I said, we have to have a certain budget to where, hey, do we go this way? Would it cost this much, or this one's a little bit cheaper? Like I said, but we will most likely probably we'll go with the cheap one, the cheaper price. But what I also do is I also like to check the quality of work, because sometimes it could be cheaper, but the quality is good, or it's better than the other price where it's higher and they it's just like it's good, but it's you're looking more for at this is like with doing like with videos,
Yeah,
stuff like that. So music
absolutely.
videos. So that's why like with music videos or like videographers, as I said, let me check out their work, and I'll check out if it's two of them, I'll check out both of them and see who where they're at as far as videography, and then if I like the way they shoot, how much are they, and then how much are they, and then okay, well let's see, let's right, what's in the budget.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
So all these things are, I'm guessing, is some of the things that you learned from your first project
Yes.
to be able to incorporate on this one that you're able
Yes.
to do better than you did last time.
Yes, and just I guess make sure the music, keeping the music, I guess you could say relevant.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's on this project, kind of that's what I'm thinking more about, still keeping it R&B, but keeping it, I guess, more relevant. So it'll be a mixture of this project will probably be a mixture of not it'll be R&B, but it'll probably be a mixture of pop, maybe some hip hop in there,
Ni reggaeton.
maybe even a little of that too.
Nice.
Yeah, even a little of that too as well. I was talking with my team about that, and I was like, I think do some like a reggaeton, like in English and Spanish, which will be, I think it'll be pretty cool. So
Yeah, absolutely.
you could that could definitely be in the works
Yeah.
for this next project. So that's what I'm saying. It's just that's why right now I'm just focused on recording, because there's different things I want to try
Right.
and say, okay, now once we get it done and have it all together to, okay, let's drop this, let's see how how this work, how these songs play, and see what the fans think about it.
How many songs, finished, completed songs, do you think you already have in the vault, or they're just rough drafts
Um,
waiting to be mixed and mastered?
um, I have two that already uh mixed and mastered. Um, but I said two, yeah, mixed and mastered. I have see, that's two. I got well, actually, I'm sorry, I got three that's mixed and mastered. I got three of them
Nice.
already that's mixed and mastered, and then I think I have two or three more of just the songs that are completed vocally, but haven't been but just as far as the whole together, but it's probably like probably have two or three that still haven't been mixed and mastered yet. They have a like a rough mix,
Right.
but they're not the mix and master. But all the vocals, everything is there.
And it's
So
gonna be a leading single for the project before you go into full blast, going in with the EP. It's gonna be an EP, I'm guessing, still, or you going?
I want to do an EP. I know I've talked with my team as well, and we kind of go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Should it be an EP? Should it be an album? I'm still kind of leaning more to EP, but we'll see. I mean, because I think I would have to build my name more to the point to where people are more just wanting to hear more of a bigger playlist of songs for me, like album instead of EP. Because I mean, I got to me still building my brand and still building
Gotcha.
my sound. You know, I don't know if that'll be the best move right now. That's one thing. So I don't know. I have to talk with my team and we'll see what we come up with.
Cool. And
Yeah.
do you have a particular time frame, like a general estimate of when it's going to be dropping? Is it going to be still at the end of this year, or could it be probably sometime during 2024?
Uh,
Realistically,
yeah, I'm trying to. I'm hoping to drop at least one of the singles before the end of this year.
nice,
If not, it'll definitely be next year for sure.
awesome.
It'll definitely be next year for sure, and then hopefully the rest, have other singles next year as well. But I'm at least have one of them dropping. Hopefully, because no, the year's almost out, so
Yeah,
hopefully I
absolutely.
get one of the singles to drop before the year's out. If not, then it'll be definitely
Well, you
next year.
got 3 ready to go.
Yeah, 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 definitely.
You definitely are take it serious because you've been all over the place too. Not only here in Dallas, you're in Dallas today, but you've been to Tulsa, you've been
Mhm,
to Miami,
mhm,
you've been to Atlanta,
mhm,
and of course you're from Houston performing some of the shows there.
mhm.
So how those did those opportunities come to be as far as performing all over these places?
Just actually just reaching out and pretty much just going to get it, man. Like I was like, man, I want to do shows, and I love doing shows in my city, Houston, Texas, my hometown. I love doing shows, but I was like, I gotta get my brand
Yeah.
outside of Houston, outside of Texas, and I was, I talked with my team about that, and they were like, let's do it. It's a good idea. Let's do it. So my team and I started just kind of reaching out to
Hmm.
different events or festivals that we heard of that were in different states, and they're either gonna email you back or they're not. So it's like, hey,
Shout out to the person that emailed me.
yeah,
I
yeah,
got an email too.
yeah. So
That's how we got him, and very professional, by the way.
yeah.
Very not like, hey, put me on right now. No, it's more like, hey, this is who I am. This is who he is. This is what he's done.
Mhm.
This, that. Hey, were you interested?
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah. What's up? Let's do it. Very nice. Very
Yes,
nice.
yes, definitely. I definitely gotta give it up to my team because I
Yeah.
mean, my team this far in my career is really what helped me get to where I'm at, and still, I mean, we still got a long way to go, but I mean, it's I can see the growth, I can see the
Yeah.
progression. And it's happening. It may be little by little, but I see the progression happening. So we just got to stay consistent, stay focused, and just keep our mind on the prize, and just to stay focused. Like what we've been doing has been working, so that's what we're just gonna
Yeah.
just, be consistent doing that.
It's the right approach. Don't go
Yeah.
to the DM demanding the interview, por favor. Don't do it. Especially if you started doing it. You got a
Yeah.
long way to go. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. We want people to be doing it for some time. Nothing against your dreams,
Mhm.
but there's a way to ask correctly.
Yes.
As David and I talk about TDM. Don't be in the DM talking about just send me a link, check my song out.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't know so many freaking people hacking your account.
Yeah.
I'm not about to click a link that I don't know.
Exactly.
Professionally sent
Exactly.
email where it came from. All of a sudden, there's a website. Check it out. Like, hey, look at this,
Yeah.
beautiful. So
Yeah.
get off the DMs.
Shout out to my boy David with the Them Damn Mexicans, man. TDM
Them
gotta
Mexicans,
gotta
TDM in
represent,
the
man.
house.
TDM David out of Houston, Texas, man. But yeah, I gotta represent, man.
Shout out to the
Yeah.
homie. Well,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. You got yourself out there. How was the performing out of town, out of state? How was the feeling? How was the experience overall?
Oh man, it was definitely fun. I mean, definitely good experience. I've seen the I guess the love and support that they give me. I was like that I wasn't expecting. I'm like,
Really?
wow. So yeah, building my fan base out there too. So I'm pretty sure I got fans in like Miami, Tulsa, Oklahoma now, stuff like that. And I know in Miami when I performed out there, I had one of the radio stations after play my like two or three of my records. After when we were back in Houston, they
Nice.
have like an internet radio stations they played out there. So I'm like, man, so I really do appreciate it, man. And so it's just building a fan base, building relationships as well,
Yep.
to where you can come back and do those festivals and again the next year, or you know um you know network and build relationship with other artists to do collaborations. And I'm always down or always down for collaborations
Do you
with
have a
any
lot of
artist.
collaborations right now to date?
Not a lot, but I mean I'm willing to work with anybody. Doesn't matter genre like that. I'm just I'm really just willing to work. I do have a couple. I do have a collabo that I've did that we're actually promoting the record, and we also have a video for it.
Nice.
It's called Crown and Champagne, by my boy Overflow, featuring myself. That video's on my YouTube page. So um um you can definitely check it out. Definitely check it out
Make sure
on
she good. Don't
yeah.
be passing out now. Don't drop. We keeping the real here. We ain't gonna
Yeah.
put this stuff. We had the lady had
Yeah.
some food, but we good.
Yes. She
Keep an eye on her.
yeah. She's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have the video. Yeah. How do y'all get together?
Um actually I met my boy Overflow through actually my wife. Like,
Mhm.
of course she's definitely part of my team. And we were actually trying to get shirts, or we were getting shirts made, and we were gonna go pick him up, and he was there at the same place getting um shirts done, I guess, for his brand. And that's what we started talking. He's like, "Oh yeah, man, I rap too," and stuff like that. I was like, "Okay," and we just started networking. And I think I got his social media, he got mine, and he saw I sing and stuff like that. And then I told him, I said, "Yeah, man, let's do a record together," stuff like that. So it didn't happen right away, but eventually, um, because he produces too,
Mhm.
and so he wanted to get the right track. It wasn't just, "Oh, just jump on any track with me."
Right.
He
Right.
wanted to get the right track. And so when he found that right track, he called me and said, "Rob, I got it. I got the song I want you on." And I was like, "Let's do it." And so we started recording it and recorded at his studio. Got it done, and got it. He took it. He took it to Bruce Bang to get it mixed. Shout out
Nice.
to Bruce
So yeah,
Bang.
you're the same individual for it.
Yeah. And yeah, Bruce did his thing on it, mixed it, brought it to life. And then after that, we shot a video, and it became the record it is now, Crown and Champagne.
Nice.
Um,
Crown of
you know,
champagne.
Crown or Champagne
Crown or
or Champagne.
champagne.
Yeah. So
He
it's
gonna get
it,
ratchet or classic. One of the two.
yeah. It's and it has more of a older school like R&B
Mm,
type feel, but it's more of a feel good record. It's like
nice.
just get up and party and dance if you want to, dance, or if you want to just lay back and drink. It's just more just, you know, just has a more of a, I guess you could say, a little bit older school feel, but it's a feel good record. It feels good, and makes you want to dance if you want to dance.
Yeah.
So
Tell me your most memorable event to date for you. What was the one that you really stood out, that you really enjoyed doing it, performing at that place, wherever the venue was at, whether it was a lot of people, whether it was just for whatever reason it felt special to you?
there was a lot of them.
Mhm.
There was a few shows. I know one that sticks out in my head was earlier this year when we performed. I performed at the Heatwave Car Show
Mhm.
in South Padre Island. Um, just they had me perform Saturday and Sunday,
Oh wow, two
and yeah,
days.
2 days at the car show, and it was just, I guess it's just the atmosphere, the way the people or the fans, they I guess they were rocking with me on as far as with my music and stuff. And I was like, wasn't expecting it, but I mean, I was, seeing it, I'm like, wow, and so it just kind of gave me more energy to want to
Yeah.
continue to, go on with my show. And I was like, well, I told my team afterwards, I was like, yo, I really enjoyed, performing here, and hopefully next year we can get back out there and perform again for them. Uh, it was at the Heatway Car Show in South
Nice.
Padre Island. It was for more for like spring break,
Yeah.
so it was earlier this year. But
Was it by
um,
the beach, by the water?
yes,
I
it
think I
was.
seen
It was.
footage from different people
Yeah, it
on.
was it's um South Padre Island Convention Center, I think, something like that. It's by
Yeah.
the water.
Nice.
So yeah, but I performed inside. It was because
Nice.
they had it outside, and then they also had, like an event center inside. And so that was definitely one of my favorites. I loved it. Loved the responses that we got. Just, and shout out to all the fans out there, man.
Mhm.
We made new fans out there. They're now follow around V and stuff like
That's
that.
cool.
So yeah. So I mean, and then I guess you could say um I know Atlanta. Atlanta was fun. Um, so I know there was I think there was a rep from Atlantic Records that was there
Oh wow,
in
really?
Atlanta. So yeah, so kind of the promoter of that got me out there to perform. She told me, she was like, hey, the rep from Atlantic Records wants to speak to you. I'm like, oh, okay, and then so spoke with her and briefly. So it was good to at least get the attention and be like, hey, and so that right there was just motivation. Hey man, I got to.
What did
I
he
mean,
tell
I've
you?
already had I already got motivation, but I was like, yo, okay, yo, if I can get that attention, I gotta just keep pushing harder to
Yeah.
where I get more labels or even get them get to where we can actually meet up and maybe and possibly discussing a deal.
What did they
So
tell? What did he tell you that time? We just
or
want to meet who you were.
yeah, I mean, yeah, she I met with her and she was briefly because I know there was a lot of different artists as well performing. Um, yeah, she was just telling me she really enjoyed and she loved my performance that I did in Atlanta. She really really wanted. She told me what that she really wanted to see, um, or was excited for like the my future as far as doing music, as far as me doing R&B. She said she goes, I'm excited. I really really enjoyed your show or my performance. So I was like, man, that I mean, because like I said, I criticize myself too on my shows. I mean, you can ask my team. I'm like, oh man, I don't like that. I don't sound right I didn't sound right here, and oh, I shouldn't have said this, or I talked too much on this part, or I sang too much. I criticize myself. So I mean, just some having somebody from a major label telling me, hey, I really enjoyed your performance. That makes me want to go a million times harder. So yeah.
Absolutely. So being a Mexican American, R&B, Latinos, Mexican Americans, you really can really count them in one hand because there's not a lot of. What is the positive feedback that you've received, and also the negative feedback?
Positive feedback would be just the response after I do my shows of
Hmm.
the fans that are like, hey, hey, we really enjoyed your show. Um, they want to network and we exchange social medias or they even want to do collaborations with me. So
Oh
I'm like,
yeah,
hey, yeah,
absolutely.
I'm like, let's work. Like I said, I'm willing to work with anybody. It doesn't matter the genre. Um, and just I guess the response I'm getting, the positive responses I'm getting from that, and then also too just um the inspiration because I feel like I'm inspiring other artists as well. So
Nice.
like just like other inspiration, being an inspiration to the other artists as well. So that's the positivity I feel like I'm getting or that I'm seeing as far as the doing music in the music industry.
Which is R&B
Yeah,
too. That's
R and
what
B.
mostly you do. What
Yeah,
about the not so pleasant comments that you receive? The most criticism that you receive
yeah.
from people, and
But
from what kind of people?
yeah, yeah. Um, well, I mean, like they always say, if you don't have haters, you're not doing something right. So, that just comes with the territory. That comes with just you doing what you love to do. So, yeah, I've definitely had negative responses, or I guess you could say not necessarily verbal negative, but you could just kind of tell by how their actions towards you, like to where how they kind of like they don't necessarily say it, but they just don't include you,
Mm, okay.
and that's what I've noticed, and I was like, but I've dealt with that a lot, like that not being included, I'm in the same genre or I'm representing you know my people, whatever, and it's just kind of sometimes I've kind of just gotten that cold shoulder. I'm like, that's
Well, because
fine. Yeah.
predominantly R&B is, black Mexican American. I'm sorry, African American.
Yes.
It's not really a Latino thing. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Frankie J,
Yeah.
the only one that kind of stands to mind. Maybe sure
Yeah.
there's a few others, but hardly ever.
Yeah.
You know.
And speaking of Frankie J, that's who I always get compared to.
Yeah.
Like I always get compared to Frankie J. That's what a lot of people once I get off stage is, man, you remind me of Frankie J. And I'm like, and that's to me that's a compliment.
Yeah.
That's a to be compared to him. I mean, to me as a solo artist, being Mexican American doing R&B, I feel like, I feel like him as a solo artist, he opened the doors. That's what I feel like, because of course, he took the chance coming from the Cumbia Kings doing
Mm-hmm.
cumbias, and then you cross over and do, coming in the R&B in the English market, to where it wasn't known to see a Mexican or a Mexican American singing R&B, and to me, I feel like he opened the doors for artists like myself,
Yeah.
and that's why I always, yeah, he's one of my favorite. I have him as one of my top. He's one of my favorites vocally.
Yeah.
He's I mean, I think he's a beast vocally. He can sing, and then just him taking that chance and opening the doors for, like Chicano, Mexican American, or the Latino artists like that want to do urban music, that want to, say, hey, I know I'm Mexican, or I know I'm Latino, but I love R&B, or I love hip hop, or I love rap, and
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and opening the doors, that's a big deal. So,
Speaking of your top people, what
mhm.
will be some top 5 collaborations, whether it be rap, whether it be R&B, that you would like to do? Can you give me your top 5? Do you have 5?
To top, okay, well, how R&B are, top five, for of course Frankie J,
Mm-hmm.
Usher. Definitely would love to work with Usher. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot I definitely would like to work with. I mean, a lot of the
What about hip hop, rap? Which ones would you be some?
um, there's definitely a few in hip hop as well. I know, like I would say, like Bun B, from
Bumby?
music.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
I would like to, definitely do, or that's one of my top five. I would definitely like to do a song with Bun B. That'd be
A
classic.
legend,
Yeah,
Houston legend.
yeah. I'll say, I guess 50 Cent. Um, man, it's definitely a lot of them. Hmm. Um, yeah, that would definitely
We'll
be a
leave it
lot
at
of
them
them.
for
Yeah,
now. We got the last one pending.
yeah, yeah.
We are running short on time. Again, I appreciate you very much the time sharing your story, telling us about the music, how you got into the music, and good luck with your project you got coming up. Before I let you go,
hmm
let me know all your social media. Where can they reach you at? Where can people find you?
Yes, social media. Y'all can follow me, find me on all social media at Rob V Music. That's ROBV Music. And you can also check me out on my website, www.robvmusic.com.
Awesome. And I know you have the project. You're still working on it. You don't
Mm.
have a particular date yet that you have a release, but there's an EP that's going to be coming from you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any particular shows here, probably in a month or so, that you have coming up?
Yes, actually, I have a show tonight.
You have a show
As soon as we,
tonight.
yes, as soon as we leave here.
Oh, really? You have
Yeah,
one in
so yeah,
Dallas?
I have
Oh,
one. I have
nice.
one. Yeah, and actually, this will be actually my first performance in Dallas. I've
Oh,
never
nice.
performed in
Where you
Dallas, and I'm
performing at?
excited. Was it I think, was it Abbey Lounge? I think it's called Abbey Lounge, but it's a hookah lounge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm saying it right. If I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. But Abbey Lounge is a
I
hookah
should have
lounge.
found the flyer and checked it out
Yeah,
yourselves.
yeah, it's a hookah lounge. But I definitely want to give a shout out to Soaring High Entertainment, K with Soaring High Entertainment, for getting me on the show. So yeah, that's one of our promoters, our go-to promoters. That's that we get a lot of shows through
Is there
as
a
well.
particular headliner, or is it just something you're doing just you?
I'm not headlining. But I think I'm performing as well. I know I think it's pretty sure there's other artists as well that are
Nice.
performing. Might be more Dallas based artists, so I'm not for sure who's all performing. But shout out to the other artists that are performing as well.
You
So
never know where a
yeah,
collab can be
yeah,
done from people from here.
yeah, exactly. And
Okay.
then no, I don't mean to
Go
cut
ahead,
you
go
off. I'm
ahead, go
sorry.
ahead. You good?
And then I know in November, the first weekend in November, I'll be performing at Loudfest. I don't know if you ever heard of Loudfest, but
Yes,
it's,
Loud Fest we
yeah,
have.
yeah, loud music. They're putting on that Loudfest, and I will be one of the artists performing at Loudfest, which will be November 4th and November 5th.
Where? Houston?
In Houston, Texas. Yes,
Nice. You got that
yes,
one coming.
yes.
That's a big deal.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's a
sir.
big deal.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Any shout outs that you have? Any shout out that you have before I let you go?
I want to shout out to my team, my RVM team, man. Everybody that's on the team, man. Hey, wouldn't be here without y'all. we're like I said, we'll just stay focused. We're gonna stay grinding and keep growing. So I want to give a shout out to them. Of course, want to thank God just for the, for waking up this morning as well, and just just another day to pursue what I love to do.
And for
And
giving
just
you a gift of the voice, because I
yes,
mean, I definitely can talk, but I
yes,
can't sing, can't carry a
yeah,
tune. I'm thinking about taking some
yes,
classes just to
definitely.
know a little bit, but I'm just not a singer.
I got you.
I have
got
the voice of a singer. I mean, I have like I sound like I could sing, but I can't sing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to project, where it comes out.
Yeah.
I know I have singers here that use your whole body. I'm like, how?
How? Yeah, I know. Right?
You just use your voice.
Yeah.
You're talking about your whole body. I'm
like,
I need to work on that.
Yeah, I need to work on it. Figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
Definitely thank God. I have to always thank my maker. Definitely want to thank the fans. Everybody who's been rocking with Ravi and Ravi Music and my team. Appreciate y'all so much. Appreciate y'all for believing. And like I said, we're gonna keep growing together, and I'm gonna keep giving y'all good music, good R&B music, just good music. Period. And y'all definitely be expecting new material, and definitely will be. I forgot to mention, definitely you will on this next project. You definitely will hear some Spanish English, English Spanish, Spanglish stuff. So yeah, I gotta incorporate that as well. So
absolutely.
So y'all definitely, I got some for the fans as well. So y'all definitely gonna like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What is an important lesson that you learn in the music business,
Mm-hmm.
that you would tell your younger self that will help somebody else out?
Well, I would say I'll tell my younger self to stay focused, be consistent, and one of the main things is believe in yourself 100%. Don't doubt yourself, don't doubt your abilities. Stay, you were blessed, or so you use what God blessed you with, and stay focused. Study your craft. Make sure, that's what I'll definitely tell my young. Make sure you study your craft. Make sure you know. You're not gonna know everything, but as long as you study your craft and you make sure you perfect the voice, and you perfect just your knowledge of the industry as well, not just having the talent, but also having the knowledge to know how to strategize and where to take your career and stuff like that, and building your team and knowing who to have on your team, stuff like that. So
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, if you're gonna bet on anybody, might as well bet on yourself. Put the money in.
Exactly.
If you believe it, you'll put it forth, to knowing that you have a vision of the things that you want to and where to want to go to, because some people might not believe it or see it yet.
Yes.
But if you see it and bet on yourself, you'll get there eventually.
Yes, definitely.
Another question. This was a little deeper.
Yes.
Usually when I wake up, and if not throughout the day, I remind myself I'm not immortal. I am mortal, and I will die one day. That's not to scare me or to make me think that I'm going to go. I heard it from a gentleman, and I really liked it, and that just really makes me remember that I'm not here forever. I need to do stuff immediately, because whether we want it or not, it's just a part of life. We're not here forever. With that, I wish you a long, prosperous life. However, after everything's said and done, what do you want people to think or feel about your life?
Well, I want people to think is that he gave it his all. Like, I want people to say, that he gave it his all, that he followed his dreams, and not letting anyone or anything keep him from following his dreams, and just being happy, and just hopefully too, my music inspires the next generation to where they after I'm gone, my music inspires other artists to want to create good music, beautiful music, inspiring music, stuff like to help people, whether it makes them feel happy, sad, or cry, whatever, but to just inspire other people as well. So.
Awesome. That's amazing. I truly, any artist that comes, or any individual, it don't have to be artists. We're not just an artist podcast. We're entrepreneurs. We're artists, singers, songwriters, whatever clothing line businesses, any kind of Latino, Mexican American that has a path, whether it be veterinarian, whatever the case might be, any path of life, Latino, I want on the podcast. I appreciate the people that reach out to me, especially from far away, Houston. It's not a short drive, but at the end of the day, it says a lot about you as far as wanting to do what you are doing with that, because otherwise you would just see it on social media and never take it anywhere.
Exactly.
You just be there. And again, I didn't know your story. They sent me some information. I looked into it. I'm like, that's pretty cool. With you being it and continues to do it. Not to mention, again, being a Mexican American that in a genre that you don't see a lot of us in it. It'll be pretty cool that you are doing it. It's pretty cool that you are doing it. Not to mention, who knows how many people are going to be able to tune in. Little kids, younger kids will be able to see that, hey, like we mentioned earlier, you don't necessarily just have to be the dishwasher. The people that cut yards, landscaper, whatever. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
But again, you can still
there's
go
other
for
options.
more.
Yeah, there's more.
Definitely other options.
Yes.
And I appreciate the fact that you're doing it, because again, I don't know too many of people that are doing R&B. And if you continue to do it, I hope you grow bigger and better. And with all that, I appreciate the time, appreciate the seriousness, and without a doubt, Rob V, you are a global Latin factor. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
This was another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Remember, we are just like you. Remember to subscribe. And remember, we are just like you. We are the spice in this melting pot that it is the world. Till next time. Thank you very much for checking out this episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Make sure you go and subscribe to the channel. Check out the content and the episodes that we have ready for you. Thank you very much. Till next time.
Pero but in fact is a flamingo coming to Havana and from Puerto Rico.